expressive line, and this is so precise.
Yeah, most people use it to loosen up, man.
No, I will bend the tool to my will.
I'm
straightening the nib. I'm straightening the nib. Yeah.
Heaston's great hands. All right.
It's like I have to dominate my art supplies. So watercolor, of course, is my enemy.
It's a bit
well, I was
so
always. I'm very poor, so I was always wishing I could come to these. And then Linda finally, she smacked me on the head. My wife, she smacked me. She's like, "Why haven't you written a proposal? Then you could just go."
Story where the plot is not left to the very, very end. What is happening here is I'm inviting you to move from the inside out, to work from the focal point, working from dark to light as well. So I'm going to use this sketch as a reference. So the focal point is here. Okay, the focal is a rain bar. Okay, and there are a lot of elements around it. Okay, but in this case you can see that this rain bar is in shadow and there's a lot of white bits around it.
This is a Paul Wang workshop. It was about shapes.
Okay, so the first thing that I think we have to go back to is to talk about shape qualities. Shapes have qualities.
First we started thinking about shape quality and interaction between shapes. So we had some exercise to do with paint like this, and with ink too. Some of the shapes here are some Paul Wang sketches, and we had to add some of our sketches on the pages, trying to sketch some shapes in various ways, soft, irregular, texture, the qualities, or to make them interact in some various way, overlapping, being together, being far from each other, this kind of things.
So for those that finish, you can now attempt this exercise where you put them all together. It's an abstract exercise, it's an expressive exercise. You don't have to make anything beautiful, so keep it small, manageable, so you have 5 minutes. Any color, any pen, any pencil is fine, so go back and forth between drawing and adding color.
And then we had to try to apply this graphical approach in the subject, which was a rain bar. We're thinking it was not really easy to apply this sort of theoretical, really interesting approach, and to know how to handle the shape in the building. But I tried. I was not really happy with this sketch because I think the colors are a bit sad, and that's not really interesting to me. And then Paul talked about finding a focus in our sketch.
So we're here to simplify. So if you need to modify your initial sketch to make sense of the grouping, please do so. It could be an activity, it could be a zone, it could be this young man painting and we like to capture that. That could be a focal point.
I didn't think this sketch had a real focus, so I decided to widen my view. This is the part I sketched previously, and I widened my sketch to include one window just up the stairs here, with some colorful little flags, and I was thinking that this whole scene was more interesting to sketch with a real focal point and the rain bar here. So I want you to finish the frame and then can you use this as your So we sketched it. So the first approach was more with the shapes, and then Paul asked us to draw with lines. So I used again my Feud Nib fountain pen on this really raw paper. It's arch cold press, but it's really rough for cold press one. And then we had to try to curve the perspective and to give more dynamic to a sketch to lead the viewer in. Paul was thinking that I overdid it a bit, but you will understand later when we will see my ink sketch why I wanted to be bold with it, because Veronica Lawler workshop was just the day before, and I liked this sort of dynamic fisheye approach. I don't think it's too much. I like it that way. And then we worked with Paul colors, which are Daniel Smith colors, the transparent pure orange, cerulean blue chromium, French ultramarine, and indigo. And first we put some colors values on the sketch using only blue. So the cerulean blue for the mid-tones, the shadows.
The sun is coming from here, from the right to the left, okay? So if the sun is coming from the right to the left, all these bits in the front will be in shadow, okay? So we can do a cool shadow mix. Okay.
And then the indigo for the darker spots. And at the end we had to put some colors in the sketch with more, various hues and color changing, so using the pyrrole orange too.
A lot of times, you can drop in, remember I suggested you drop in a little bit of a gray, orange, so that, you get a nice gray mix. I've got some red in my brush, that's why, okay? Remember, right at the beginning of the shape shifting, okay, we can imply a shape, and then so it turns. So I'm walking around this so that I don't lose the story, okay, and maybe I'll stop here and then see whether I will need to fill in any more, okay, and then there are some dark shapes here. So remember, we're working from very dark to very light. And when you're repeating, okay, maybe you can vary the repetition so that, it's different. So you're not always doing the same thing over and over again, right? Right, so there's some warmer, some cooler, okay? And because this is problematic, because this is in shadow, so remember we do want to leave a little bit of that white. And I am deliberately making this wall a little lighter so it doesn't get lost. So that sliver of white. Okay. And because, ideally I would have made this a lot lighter and then the shadow coming from the side, so that draws my attention, because now this is quite bright. Okay. And then this is the shadow. Okay. And then I'm working again. So I wouldn't do too much of this because it's taking us away. Okay. And I need to find a way to point to this, so maybe I'll use the railing here. I think so. I'm making it up. Okay, and there is a staircase somewhere here, okay, that can take us back in. So again, I'm using something dark to pull us back in. Around the focal point, we maybe want to suggest a little bit more detail, like writing the word rain bar, okay, air conditioning, okay, so that there's a little bit more information there, they know what we're doing, and then if you want to draw a person walking in.
I really like this. I really liked this choice of colors. So for lunch, I decided to try to make a sketch only with these colors too, and not thinking too much about the color, the real color of the scene. Just wanted to keep the crane red, but playing more with value, with this light and white shapes and the gray sky, and here a darker value. So work with values and so with some color changes, but not worrying too much about the real color of the scene. I think it's really good approach. I like this sketch. And so here is the handout from Paul workshop, full of information and sketches and inspiration. It will be great to read it again later.
So there's something here, I think. That wall. Okay. And I know there are windows here, but maybe I'll make those windows a little bit more subtle. I did that to you so that's focal point. And remember, we don't repeat, evenly. So maybe one or two windows with a different color so that it kind of comes out normally. Make sense? Yep. And then I want to continue to point to this. So this is perfect, right? So we do have this building here, and then we have this building here. Remember I was shape-shifting just now. This line, we could have drawn it pretty vertically, but if we tip it ever so slightly, you can slide us down to this, and then we have this. Do we want to say too much here? Maybe, maybe not. And then again, we can have a shadow mix here. Maybe a touch of orange. And then I know there are a few windows here. Okay, and then sometimes you'll see me doing the splitter. Okay, and sometimes it could be a block. And remember today we did ambiguous shape, right? So I know there are some trees over here, so this could be ambiguous because I don't want them to be too defined. Just enough for you to kind of like, oh, what's that? Maybe it's an umbrella, and then I'll go back and forth. Maybe I need to shape it up a little bit. Okay? And also the focal point in this case could have a little bit of highlights. Could have a bit more detail, so we could plug in some little bits here. And then if you think that, oh, if I don't say rain bar, no one's going to know, fine. Rain bar here, but something lighter, shadow. The question is, there's a focal point, let's start to do something like that here.
Yeah.
Is that a distraction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes.
Yes, but it must be possible to have different thick color splashes.
Yeah.
And still have some sort of...
Yeah, so maybe
as long
as
your eye goes around.
Yeah. So maybe we'll soften it, we'll use a paper towel, we'll say, okay, let's suggest some red, but not all of it.
And then maybe somewhere else a little bit of red.
Yeah.
So that the decision that the main focus point is the darkest still remains the concept.
Correct. And sometimes we may have, once it dries, maybe we'll say, okay, it's not dark now, let's...
So that's it for today. See you for the next video. Thank you for watching.